Hello, it's time for a Combat Patrol unboxing. So I'm barely halfway through filming issue 26, and I'm about to edit together a paint video that I filmed the day before, and the postman arrives and unexpectedly he's dropped me off a black bag. So delivery 8 has arrived. Going to be an interesting one. So we get 3 duplicate issues effectively, as we are building 6 jet bikes, 2 in each issue. And we have a paint issue, which I can only guess we're going to be painting rocks, as we get grey and a brown shade paint. To prove I'm only halfway through my issue 27, here is my Wraith Lord, who is currently just primed red. So yeah, got a lot of painting work to do on this guy. But for now, let's go and unbox our latest delivery and see what's in those issues. I'm eager to see the content on quite a lot of them. I've already had a bonus issue 27, so I know what's in there, but I really want to see what's in the rest of the 20s and our first issue of the 30s. So before we head to the table, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment down below. These 3 things help the channel grow and helps all of us content creators know what you guys are actually looking for on YouTube. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything from new and used models for your various different armies and game systems, to all your hobby equipment and your gaming essentials as well. They also stock Combat Patrol magazines, so if like me you're wanting some extra issues, check them out. They'll be able to order you in some. There's a link for them in the video description. Right, let's hit the table and check out delivery 8. So here we are then at the table with delivery 8, and we've got some pretty good issues to look at. So we've got our postal slip, plus we also have a notification. If you haven't had the email, we've been told that we are being given a limited run of a special terrain set that was previously released as a first of a series that never really kicked off the ground. But yeah, the Warzone Frontierist Battlefields, I really wish they did more of these. A Frontierist Carnage would have been nice, with a load of Imperial architecture and administratum buildings, churches, etc. That would have been quite nice, ruined sector of that. But yeah, this is basically a frontline defense station, communication tower, landing pad, bunkers, defense lines, etc. Yeah, if you want one of these, there's a email for you to send off to, I believe. Is it on the back? No, it's not on the back. That's helpful. It's blank. But yeah, there's a specific email for you to look at. You can use Hachette partworks.com/contact as one way of doing it. But yeah, if you've got the email, there's a link in there that will take you to a purchase page where you can buy this. You will need your subscriber number to prove that you are subscribed to the collection, and then you'll get this. It's for a pretty good price, £75, which is pretty good. It's less than half price of what it used to be when it was brand new. There is rumours though that the boards are going to be a separate purchase, so not too keen on that. Luckily though, I have one already. So yeah, mine's sat on my table now. I've actually finally finished building it, and I'm waiting for a friend of mine who has purchased the terrain set to supply me with a paint guide in order to hopefully help me paint it, because I really don't know how I'm going to paint mine yet. But that's it for that. So here we have our issues. So issue 30. Our paint issues, so Mechanicus Standard Grey and Agrax Earthshade. So yeah, I fully expect us to be painting all the rocky details on our bases. We've got issue 28, 29 and 27 Jetbike. So 2 Jetbikes per issue. We have the full build guide in 27, and I don't think we get the paint guide till 29, but it'd be interesting to see what we do get. So, right, let's put these to one side and we'll start by looking at issue 27. So, yeah, this is probably the more fun of the issues, as we do have some extra bonus bits. So, we get our first 2 Jetbikes, which are identical, so they are the exact same frame. I believe all the bikes are near enough the exact same sort of setup on the sprues, but there are different components when it comes to torsos and heads. Everything else though is near enough identical. So each frame has part 1 and 2, which is the bike's chassis, part 7, and it says in the instructions is 19, but on the frame it's 16, which is the front guard piece there. Yeah. 2 of those, plus we get 2 flying stand bases with a choice of short or medium sort of flying stands. And why is this issue the better of the 4? Well, it's because we get, ta-da, our next set of data cards. So not only do we get all of our Aeldari units, so the Farseer, the Guardians, the Jetbikes, and the Wraithlord, we also get the Aeldari faction cards, so Strands of Fate faction ability, their enhancements, stratagems, and their objectives. It also includes 2 new pieces of terrain, so barrels, a dump of broken barrels, and a wrecked container, which I have already turned into a 3D element. And 1 container would make 2 of these, as I've only used 1 whole side, 1 whole top, and I've cut the doors in half on an angle. And yeah, I could easily make a second if I wanted to. I could actually make 4, as I have 2 whole containers unused from Imperium. So yeah, that's what it will look like, fully realized as a 3D element. And finally, you might have already checked them out as I was flicking the cards around, but we get all the cards for the basic Chaos Space Marine Combat Patrol. So we get a Dark Apostle, our Legionnaires, that's our next delivery by the way, paints, Dark Apostle and the Legionnaires. Delivery after that is the 2 sprues of Havocs and 2 sprues of the Hellbrute. But into the issue we go. So I might need to adjust the camera a bit, that's a bit better. So as I said, we have our build guide. We have a technique page on relayering before we actually apply and update our new technique to all our models. So we're bringing out the brightness on the Tyranid's flesh again, as well as the lighter colors like the white on the shoulder pads, and bringing the pink back up to a full sort of vibrancy there. Now we got some before and after shots, which is quite nice. And yeah, shows off our models there, looking quite nice. Our lore articles is a bit on the short side, but we do have a nice in-depth guide on all the different aspect warriors of the Aeldari. And then our play guide is what is taking up the rest of the issue. So we are being introduced to the full core rules. And this is quite a nice little introduction. I've actually read through it in my bonus issue, and it really helps you understand how to use your combat patrols with the core rules and how to expand from there onwards. It even goes as far as mentioning that if you need any clarifications or updates, scan the QR code and you'll be taken to the FAQ page on the Warhammer community site. And yeah, moving into the core concepts of the game. So this is going to be the first pages of the full core rules. As notified, we've got little corner page numbers. And we also get not 1, but 2 combat patrol data sheets. So we got Strikeforce Octavius, detailing all the models we get, what they're equipped with, and then showing painted examples of the models. And then the same here for the Tyranids. And into our next issue, it's just more jet bikes. So I think for this issue, as there's no actual tutorial mission, I think I'll be playing a full-size combat patrol game. But moving on, we've got more rules and our second 2 jet bikes in issue 28. So we have again 2 fairly identical looking sprues. So we've got 17, so we've got different tops of the jet bikes here as well. So yeah, each one's different, which is quite nice. So that's probably why issue, no, there's 18 in that one, so that's interesting. But yeah, middle frame of the 2, 3 sprues even. So yeah, that's our second jet bikes. And into the issue, let's take a quick look. So what do we have? Oof. A stuck page, that's what we have. So we actually have a lot of lore in this issue. So we have Hosts of the Dead, looking at the Aeldari Wraith hosts, my favourites. And another ripped page, oh dear. Where's my knife? I'm going to have to... Oh, that didn't help. But yeah, we have a look at the Wraith hosts of the Aeldari, a look at the Drukhari, the Eldar's dark twisted cousins. We look at our first major war zone, which is war zone Bastior and part of the 4th Tyrannic War, including a nice close-up map of the Bastior subsector and some smaller clusters there as well. And then we got some of the dramatas persona, the important people who played in this battle, at least on the Imperium side. So first Captain Agamemnon of the Ultramarines, Trajan Valoris of the Custodes, Varo Tigurius, Chief Librarian of the Ultramarines, and Lord Solar Leontus even, of the Asher Minotaurum. And then we get our first page looking at the tragic story of the Horus Heresy. And then we have Bonds of Honor Part 7, so we're continuing our story. We have our collect article for the Aeldari Windriders, so we can name them. So it's going to be a very lore-heavy issue. I think, as we got no build and paint guides, this might have to be a double lore video. I'll have to see how we go. And then, yeah, we got more data sheets there for the Windriders. We start looking at core concepts of the battlefield. So we've already learned about coherency, engagement range, battlefields, measuring distance, etc. Visibility is covered, which is quite handy. Dice results, rolling D3s, and the battle round. So yeah, not a lot. Again, another issue where we can probably play another full-size game of Combat Patrol, utilising all the rules we've learnt between our last game and this issue. But this issue is going to have a little bit different, as we have a scenario where we learn how to utilise the Windriders. So we can have a paint guide in here, plus we learn more about the Dark Eldar. So here we go, issue 29. And yeah, there we have it. Final jet bike, which is pretty much identical. So just a slight different variation on this part and the chest and head. But other than that, yeah, frame is near enough identical to all the previous 2. Put those to one side. And yeah, let's have a look, see how our issue goes. So first off, we've got our paint guide. So base coat them all with Mephisto Red, and it looks like we have not sub-assembled these, which is going to be very interesting. But picking out the leather work, the main fuselage of the jet bike, and cables and face masks with Abaddon black. Painting the helmets Corax white. Using lead belcher to paint the handlebars, the footrests, and the engine, as well as the details on the back of the hand for some reason. Okay, interesting. Crag blue to paint the eyes, Nuln oil to shade the metal, the white, relayer Corax white. Then after that, we can glue our Windriders down to the bikes. And there's our jet bike. So it's only shown one of each. So 2 with the catapults and 1 with the scatter laser. But yeah, you'll be painting up 2 with the scatter laser and 4 jet bikes with the catapults. Now we look more into the Dark Eldar at the Cabals, Colts and Covens. Oh, for the love of pages. So look at the Witch Colts, the Homunculi, Covens. Look more at Komora, Abdrubal Vect, the leader of the Dark Eldar. Then we got a page all about the command phase. So we're looking at the actual stages and phases of the games. So it details what we do in our command phase. So at the start of your command phase is the command step. So you gain your CP and then you resolve any abilities. Stage 2 is Battle Shock, and then you'll be scoring victory points at the end of your command phase after your Battle Shock tests. So yeah, or more in-depth detail about how to apply Battle Shock, etc. to your units. We have our battle record page for the Fate Breakers, which is our Aeldari Combat Patrol. So it tells us what we got. Farseer, the Guardian Defenders, 10 models with a heavy weapon platform, 6 Windriders, 4 with catapults, 2 scatter lasers, and we have our Wraith Lord. There we go. We have a Tactica page for the Windriders, so quite nice. Hopefully we'll see more of these for other units in the collection. And then finally we have our scenario. So we got 2 battle mats, deployment zones for termagants, and they also respawn. Then we try out our Windriders in 2 squadrons of 3, so that looks fun. So yeah, play through, have a bit of fun, learn all your rules and skills for your Windriders, and another ripped page. Come on. Hachette, get your act together. Ay, ay, ay. And then we go Aeldari or Tyrannid Victory. And to look at our next issue, so we already know issue 30 is our paint issue. Issue 31, our Dark Apostle and his 2 Dark Disciples. Whew, I'm getting knackered, and we have one more issue to go through, our paint issue, issue 30. So here we go into paint issue, and let's just see how right I am. So yeah, we get Agrax Earthshade, a nice brown shade, and Mechanicus Standard Grey, a good all-rounder grey. Perfect for going darker or lighter, depending on the models you're painting. So into issue 30 quickly. So we are applying Agrax Earthshade. So we're shading the likes of capes, parchment, red helmets and cables. We're also painting the red casing on guns, the grips, any red gems, the skull helm and his lenses. Says to give at least 15 minutes to dry, so yeah, pretty good. Then we're relayering pallid witch flesh on parchment and capes, same for Mephiston red and Wraithbone on the bone detail. And that's it for our Space Marines, all nicely updated. So it's interesting we haven't shaded the nozzles of the Pyre Blasters. Perhaps we're going to be doing a special effect on those later on. Quite interesting to see what we do. Then we're using Agrax Earthshade to shade all of the recesses on our Guardians, our Jetbikes, the inside cloak on our Farseer, and we're even doing the recesses on the armour for our Wraithlord there as well. Come on. I'm spending more time cutting pages this video than I am anything else. And there we have finished results of our Aeldari so far. Looking quite nice now that we've actually put a shade over the red details. Yeah, all looking good. So that's why we haven't used Caravo Crimson previously. Into our lore, we're looking at the Harlequins, another sub-faction of the Aeldari. As we previously mentioned, these are the disciples of Sagarak, the Laughing God. So yeah, Solitaires, Death Jesters and Shadow Seers. Solitaires are said to be playing the actual role of Sagarak in the plays that the Harlequins put on. Then we have a bit more about the Realm of Chaos and the Warps, and we see Sisters of Battle facing off against Tzeentchian demons. Oh. Then we start looking at Chaos Space Marines ready for next issue when we get our first models for them. So this is all about the legacies of betrayals. And ooh, it's actually showing some of the new Chaos Space Marine stuff. So the new Chaos Lord, the awesome new Possessed. So we've actually got the newer Combat Patrol there, which is 10 Legionnaires, the Dark Master of Possession, 5 Possessed. And the only thing that's missing is the 10 Cultists. Yeah, pretty cool. You've got the Chosen there, the Forge Fiend, Venom Crawler. I even see Cypher sneaking around in the back there. Yeah, some awesome models. Abaddon, which I actually need to get around to building and painting mine. But moving on to our play section, so we have a brand new mission to actually play through, the Archaeotech Recovery mission. So, deployment map there, the mission rule, primary objectives, etc. And again, we've got another one of these little tick charts, so we can tick off who's played who on the Archaeotech Recovery mission. It's really cool, that. Definitely have to photocopy those for myself. And then we have a page all about the movement phase and how to move units, benefits of remaining stationary, etc. The rules for flying, moving over terrain, fallback moves. Then, although it's not going to be important for the moment, but when we get the Genius of the Cults, we do need the rules for transports, so they do have the option of building the rock grinder as a transport vehicle if they so choose. But yeah, it's mainly going to be used as the heavy onslaught tank. And there we have it. So again, another issue where we'll be playing a full game of Combat Patrol. And as we have the full Aeldari Combat Patrol by this point, I think it'll be using them. But yeah, there we have it. And the next two paints after the Dark Apostle is Rycon Flesh Shade and Auric Flesh. So we'll probably be painting stuff like laurels, if we have any, green lenses. And Rycon Flesh Shade will be going over all of our bare skin models, giving them that fleshy look. Right then, that's it. I'll bring everything back in and give you my final thoughts for this delivery. So there we have it. That was really exhausting, especially seeing as I had to cut away quite a few pages. Hachette, you really need to get your quality control down. Yeah, this has been the worst collection so far for magazines being stuck together. I don't think I've ever had that trouble before with Imperium. Didn't really tear my issues apart for the last Age of Sigmar partworks. So didn't really have any trouble with magazines then, and yeah, with this one the pages are stuck together. It's really annoying. So I'm gonna have to start marking it down on this thing. I think it's really starting to annoy me. And Hachette, you should be doing a better job when it comes to the production of your magazines, especially if you're encouraging us to tear these issues to pieces and put them in folders. It's not going to do us a lot of good if the pages are ripped at the corners, well, where the pages are hole punctured. But let's try to not dwell on the negative. Let's look at the positive. So what have we had here? We've had 4 rather good issues, although the models are only one effective unit. But I'll tell you what the value is here, as this is going to be £70 worth of models alone, as you have to buy 2 sets of 3, which are £37 each, I believe. RRP, I was looking up the other day, and yeah, Windriders are £37 just for the 3. So the fact we get 2 here, that's over £70 worth of value. Pretty good, seeing as they're only paying £40 over the issues, bit more if like me you're premium. We do get 2 paints, pretty good Mechanicus and a grey, which we don't actually use, which is kind of interesting. I'd have thought we'd have gone to like painting the bases on our chaplain and Space Marine captain. Maybe that'll be held for another issue where there isn't a lot of content. But we do get Agrax Earthshade, which adds a lot of detail to a lot of our models, and yeah, it's definitely going to help our Aeldari models pop up. So model-wise, while it is a low count, I will give it a 4 out of 5, as it's our last major unit we need for the Aeldari Combat Patrol, and once we hit issue 29, well, technically can't for issue 29 as we are still learning the rules for them with our training scenario. When we hit issue 30 though, we can actually start playing games of this as a full combat patrol, which I'm looking forward to actually. So models wise, 4 out of 5. Paints wise, it's going to be a 2 out of 5. Actually no, I'm going to give it a 3 because we do have a really helpful paint in the form of Agrax Earthshade. Plus the paint guide is really nice, as it covers both the relayering and the shading down of various models. So I will give it that. So 3 out of 5 for that. Hobby material, not hobby, gaming essentials equipment, again, I'll give it another 3. We do get the data cards, which is good. And as I've already shown, we do get a chance, for me at least, to make more 3D terrain, which I'm really enjoying, by the way. But yeah. So 2 new terrain pieces for us to fight over. We do get the full rules for the Aeldari Combat Patrol, although we haven't been given the tutorial on how to activate, how to use the fate dice system. I might just use it anyway, because I know how the fate dice system works. It's fairly simple. You roll dice, you get 12 at the start. If you keep the result, you keep all 12. If not, you reduce your dice by 1, re-roll everything. And once you're happy with the result, you basically have all these dice that you can substitute for dice rolls on various things like, I believe there's a huge list you can go through. Advance roll, battle shock, charge, damage, hit, saving throw, and wound. So yeah. Keeping your low results could be helpful if you need, say, you don't want to waste a D3 on a 1 wound model. You can just say, I'll roll this 1 as a D3 for a result of 1 killing that 1 wound model. Then my next D3 I'll roll and hopefully kill a whole model with a 3. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I'll utilize that in a full game, I think. We also get our Chaos Space Marine stuff ready for our Chaos Space Marine issues, though we don't get the faction abilities. We'll probably get that probably towards the point where we get our Hellbrute. kit, so we can actually put this into full use. And it'll be interesting to see what other terrain cards we get, and will we start seeing the next combat patrol, which I believe is the Votan. Trying to think, yeah, Votan and Orcs next, then Guard and Genius of the Occults, and then we're on to World Eaters. So it'll be interesting to see. But before we get to there, we do have the bonus issues. So after the Hellbrute, we get the bonus issues for the Aeldari, which is the Wraith Guard, and the Chaos Space Marine get the Chaos Terminators. So it'll probably be with the Chaos Terminator issue, I reckon we'll get the next set of data cards. It'll be interesting to see. And then after that, we get a paint issue and our first Votan model. So going to be an interesting delivery in a couple of deliveries time. I'm always talking about deliveries in the future, but yeah, it's nice to know, I guess, and prepare for the future. But yeah, our next delivery is going to be literally the Dark Apostle and the Chaos Legionaries plus a paint issue. Delivery after that, Havocs and Hellbrute. Delivery after that even is going to be the bonus models and the start of our Votan. But yeah, that's it. So a 3 out of 5 for our gaming equipment, a 3 out of 5 for our paints, and a 5 out of 5 for our models, as we do get quite a bit of a saving over having to buy 2 of these kits individually. So that gives us a rough average then of 4 out of 5. So a pretty good value. The contents of the magazine is actually pretty good. There's a lot of good tutorials. We're getting the core rules steadily drip fed to us as well. We've got quite a few new missions for us to try out. So we've got that scenario with the Jetbikes learning their rules. Then we have our second of the Combat Patrol specific missions as well, which will be the first time we get to play our Aeldari Combat Patrol in its completion. So looking forward to that. But yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff in the issues, a lot of stuff to read in one of them. It's going to be a very lengthy video. Like I said, I think I might do parts 1 and 2 of reading, as there's no actual hobby material. And I might even do... Actually, what I'll do, I'll try to do all the lore in one. I'll do the rules section and the naming chart in another video. And after that, we'll have the game of a big size game with our Tyranids and Space Marines Combat Patrols. So yeah, we'll do that for a little bit of difference, I think. Right then, I have yammered on long enough. I'm going to put, of course, all the prices and stuff up somewhere on screen for you guys if you want to check out your values and savings, etc. over buying all this individually. Let me know your thoughts on this delivery in the comments section. Have I been fair? I think, like I said, I'm going to start knocking off a bit for the fact that they are not quality checking their magazines. Maybe they've moved to a different type of hole punching machine and it's got problems where it fuses pages together when it shouldn't be. I don't know. But yeah, not really all that happy when it comes to the quality of these magazines. So I'll knock that 4 down to a 3.5 out of 5, I think, just on the quality of the magazines. But Hachette, they really need to get their acting gear when it comes to quality control on their magazines and their content. Otherwise, they're going to annoy and lose a lot of customers, I reckon, at least. It's going to annoy me to the least. I'm not going to be the sort of person who's going to throw my toys out my pram. Luckily for me, though, I am keeping these magazines as best I can in one whole piece, just to make going back to a certain issue a lot easier. But yeah, other than that, been a good delivery. Let me know what your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you next time for more Combat Patrol Carnage. Thank you, and goodbye.